Okay, let's dive into this. We're about to unpack a marketing strategy that is honestly incredibly powerful. And it's because it doesn't focus on your competitors at all. Instead, it turns inward, right into the mind of your customer, to find and defeat the real villain that's stopping them from buying.
So let me just ask you, straight up, when you're thinking about your marketing, who do you picture as your main opponent? Now, most of us would probably name another company, right? A rival brand. But what if I told you the biggest obstacle isn't out there at all, but it's actually something happening inside your customer's head?
And here it is, the big twist. Your true enemy isn't the competition. It's your customer's anxiety. It is that little voice of doubt, that feeling of confusion, or that fear that stops him cold from making a decision. This is a powerful, totally invisible force, and learning how to overcome it is the real key to winning their trust and their business.
So to defeat this villain, we first have to really understand it. We need to go right to the source of this anxiety. And we do that by looking at the two different kinds of problems that every single customer has.
You see, every person you're trying to reach is dealing with two layers of a problem. But here's the thing. Most marketing, it only talks about the obvious surface-level stuff. It completely misses the much more powerful motivator that's hiding just underneath.
So what are these two problems? Well, the external one is the tangible thing, Someone might say, I'm overweight. That's the external fact. But the internal problem, that's how that fact makes them feel. It's the I lack confidence. It's the self-doubt, the frustration. That feeling, that's where the anxiety lives.
And that brings us to a really clear definition. That negative feeling, that is the internal villain. And when your marketing can actually name that villain and show that you understand it, your customer suddenly feels completely seen. It creates this incredibly powerful bond because you're not just selling a product anymore, you're acknowledging their inner struggle. All right, so how do we do this? How do we actively fight this villain on our customer's behalf? Well, lucky for us, there's a clear 5-step playbook. And I want you to think of your brand as the guide in the customer's story. This is your strategy to help them win.
And here it is. It's pretty straightforward, really. Step 1, you identify that internal feeling. Step 2, you promise that your product will help get rid of it. Step 3, and this is a big one, you talk about that villain constantly in your marketing. Step 4, you connect your solution to their deep-seated need for survival. And finally, step 5, you offer them a clear plan, positioning yourself as their trusted guide.
Now, consistency here is absolutely crucial. You can't just mention this villain once and call it a day. It needs to be a central theme in everything you do. Your ads, your videos, your blog posts. When you consistently voice their unspoken anxieties, it proves you genuinely get them. And that builds a deep, lasting connection. This quote just gets right to the heart of it all. It's such a simple but profound truth. If your brand can become a source of relief from mental stress for your customer, you're going to build a loyal following that your competitors just can't touch.
And this brings us to a super important distinction about your role in this whole story. This is about them, not you. Your brand isn't swooping in to save the day. The customer is the hero of their own story, facing their own villain. Your job is to be the wise guide who hands them the map, that clear plan, that empowers them to win their own fight.
Okay, so we've got the what and the how. But why is this strategy so deeply effective? I mean, what's going on under the hood? Well, the answer lies in some pretty basic human psychology. Let's dig into the science behind it. At its most basic level, our brain is just a survival machine. Its number one priority, above everything else, is to keep us safe and move us away from threats and towards security. It's a primal, hardwired instinct we all have. And that's the secret sauce. When your product or service actively reduces anxiety or confusion or stress, the customer's brain doesn't just see it as a nice-to-have, it actually registers it as a tool for survival. You're giving them mental safety, and that elevates your brand from just another commodity to something truly essential.
To really get a picture of this, let's think about it this way. That internal villain, that anxiety, it's like a thick, dense fog that's just completely surrounding your customer.
And what does fog do? It creates confusion. It creates uncertainty. It basically paralyzes them, It keeps them from seeing a clear path forward and makes them scared to take a step in any direction.
This is where you come in. Your product, your service, your clear plan, it acts like a bright light that just cuts right through all that fog. It gives them clarity, it gets rid of the confusion, and it lights up the safe path forward. You become their source of clarity in a world of anxiety.
So let's bring all this home. What is your ultimate mission as a marketer using this way of thinking? Well, it's a simple but really significant shift in perspective.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. You're moving beyond just transactions. Your goal isn't simply to sell something, it is to genuinely offer your customer a better, less stressful life by helping them defeat their internal villain. When you do that, the sale just becomes a natural result of the incredible value you're providing.
And so I'll leave you with this to think about. Take a minute and really consider your own customers. What is the anxiety, the doubt, the frustration that's holding them back? Who is their true internal villain? And maybe more importantly, how can your brand become the guide that provides the light to lead them through that fog?